I have a problem with buffets. Whenever I go to a buffet, I grab a plate and then I just start scooping and scooping and scooping. By the end of the buffet, my plate is taller than it is wide, and I've just created this monstrosity that makes no sense. So I've learned when I go to buffets, before I grab the plate, it's good to do a sort of a flyby. Get a sense of what I want to put on my plate before I start piling it on. It still ends up in disaster, but it's a good habit. I've done a couple of these ComicLink featured auction previews now, and when I do, it tends to go the same way as the buffet. I sit down, I start going through the books, there's like 1,000 books. I tell myself I'm only going to talk about 20 or 30 to keep this thing contained. This is an ephemeral video that's good for about 2 weeks until the auction ends. The problem is that when I start talking about comic books, everything I say is unbelievably fascinating. So I'm reminding myself this is a preview. It is of fleeting interest to an extremely small subgroup of fellow nerds. I can withhold the soliloquies for the closing videos, which are concrete artifacts of lasting cultural value to the world. This is just some crap. So here we go. All right, let's get into it. I'm not going to do this in my secret underground bunker because I'm off on a trip in Canada right now. I don't have my comic wall behind me, but maybe I'll pick a few books out and throw them on the wall behind me while I talk. First book is Action Comics 13 in 5.5, light tanned off-white pages. We don't have a fair market value for this book, but we do have a sale in 2022 for $60,000. That $60,000 sale seems way high. This is the fourth cover appearance of Superman, and then the prices seem to dip way down once Superman 1 premiered, because right here we have Action Comics 15, just 2 issues later, and this is in 7.5 off-white to white. Far better condition, but the fair market value on this book is around $20,000, way lower than issue 13, even though 13 is in a lower grade. It's going for $6,600, whereas issue 13 is going for $5,600. So I think that the guide on these 2 books is just way off. After that, we have the first appearance of Brainiac and the first appearance of Supergirl. We have Action Comics 242 and Action Comics 252. Both of these are books with big spec potential because we, it seems, very likely have Brainiac finally coming to a Superman movie. How many Superman movies have we had? We have 4, 5, 6, 7. We've had something like 8 big Superman movies now, and we have never seen Brainiac. So it's about time. And this one in 8.0, cream to off-white, has a fair market of $15,000. Currently going at $6,200. Then we've got 8.0 off-white pages for $252. This is the first Supergirl. I've seen a number of people in the comments who are really excited about this book, big Supergirl fans. So we had a 6.5 of Action Comics 252 sell in the last fall featured auction. It sold for $9,238 with about a $4,800 fair market. So almost double fair market for that 6.5. And this 8.0 has a much higher fair market, $18,000. It's currently going for $8,100. I'm betting, based on that last sale, that this one is going to go for above $18,000. We've got a very low grade first Sandman 1.5. Then we've got All-Star Comics number 8, restored 3.0, and this is a C2. So it's a fairly small amount of amateur restoration, but that C is gonna bring the price down hard. We do have a restored 3.0 sale. Oh, look at that. Okay, all right. This exact copy sold December 12th of last year on Heritage. This book sold 2 months ago on Heritage, and here it is being flipped on ComicLink. It sold for $13,200 and it's going for $4,900. Why is someone selling this book 2 months after buying it? That is peculiar. Maybe they bought it by accident. That is a quick flip. Then we've got All Top Comics number 16 with a Matt Baker cover. I don't have much to say about this book, except if you've never heard of teratophilia, look it up. Then we got All Winners number 5, which I mention only because I have a copy of All Winners number 5 in 6.0. This is a nicer copy. It's bidding at $1,600, and I'll tell you, that's my bid. I put $1,600 in because this book, the fair market on this is $4,700. So I just threw a bid on there because, yeah, if it's selling for $1,600, I'll buy it. This is a 9.6 Promise Collection pedigree copy of All Winners 14. We're going to see that one go for a lot. So we've got this copy that is for sale here, having sold 4.5 years ago on Heritage for $25,200. Right now it is bidding at $6,100. Will it reach that amount, $25,200? I have a feeling it will not. That's a lot to spend on a non-key comic these days. It is a Promise Collection, but I will be surprised if a book sells in 2026 for what it was selling for in 2021. We'll see. Then we get to Amazing Fantasy 15. In this auction, we have 2 copies. We got a 5.5 and a 4.5. This 5.5, at a glance, has a big old crease in the upper right corner, and the 4.5 has a lot of Marvel chipping going down the right side. Based on these 2 scans, I would say the 4.5's color its reds are a little bit brighter. And then the 5.5 is cream to off-white, whereas the 4.5 is off-white to white. So there's a couple reasons why buyers might prefer that 4.5. Now, the fair markets for the 5.5, $54,000. For the 4.5, $34,000. Big difference. The 5.5 is currently going for $38,000, and the 4.5, $22,500. I think the 4.5 is the better buy here. I think the 4.5 will probably pass fair market. I think it will go for above $34,000. That $54,000 number for the 5.5 seems a little high. I think it'll come close. I think it'll get in the 50,000s. Of these 2, I kind of feel like I would rather have the 4.5. This 4.5, if you can get over the Marvel chipping, which is significant, it does not have any big creases. We have 3 copies of ASM 1. We got a 7.5, a 5.5, and a 4.0. The 7.5 has a fair market of $30,000. Is currently bidding at $27,500. So that's going to hit fair market. The 5.5 has a fair market of $12,500. It's bidding at $10,350. And the 4.0 has a fair market of $8,750, and it's bidding at $7,850. All 3 of these books are very close to fair market already, with 6 days until the auction. We got white pages, and off-white to white. They've got 3 excellent copies of this book. Then we've got an ASM 2 with a Stan Lee signature. Fair market on ASM 2 without the signature is $5,250. This is in 7.0. $5,250 fair market with a bidding at $3,800. Then we've got another 7.0 of ASM 3, no signature, but it's got the CVA label, and it is an exquisite copy. It's off-white to white pages. It does have the CVA label, and it is deserved because at a glance, I don't see anything wrong with this cover. If I looked closely, yes, okay. Upper left corner, look at this. Creases, no. There's probably something on the inside that got at the 7.0, maybe the back. Even the back looks great. Gosh, I'm actually kind of curious. Greater notes, crease right bottom of front cover. Okay, that right there. That is the only note that they gave, and they gave it a 7.0. They did not mention the upper left corner. I think this was harshly graded at 7.0. What do you think? This looks like better than a 7.0 copy to me. This crease, maybe 1.5 inches, in the bottom right. Is that enough to bring it down to 7.0? Well, you know what? The fair market on a 7.0 is 4,400, and this is already bidding at 5,700. So looks to me like at least two buyers agree that this is harshly graded. I'm not going to spend time on all these other low ASMs. They do have a number of 9.4s, 9.2s, and 9.6 of issue 10. I'm going to stop on issue 15. We have a 9.6 of issue 15. I've seen the prices dropping on issue 15 so much lately, and I'm wondering when they're going to hit bottom, because this is a great book. We had the Craven movie 2 years ago that bombed. It was terrible. That has hurt the value of this book, and I expect this sale is going to be a good deal. Now, when I looked at this a couple days ago, I do believe they had two copies of this. I had a 9.6 and I think a 9.4 or 9.2. They appear to have removed it to avoid the split bidding, which hurts, of course, the sale prices of books. That's understandable. So I had this flagged as a good deal, less so when there's only one. The fair market on this at 9.6 is $20,000, currently bidding at $7,000. I wonder if this book is at the bottom or if it still has further to drop. Just one other ASM I want to talk about. We've got a pedigreed copy, which is a little unusual for the Silver Age. We've got a Twin Cities pedigree of issue 26 in 9.6. Not a key issue at all. This is maybe the third or fourth appearance of the Green Goblin. So we've got an early appearance of Green Goblin and the Crime Master, who I don't think we saw much of after Ditko's run. So there are 25 9.6s with 14 sales on record. The fair market value of a 9.6 is $3,200, but this isn't just any 9.6. This is a pedigree copy, and it's a little bit hard to tell because this book has been relabeled, but we do have this. This is the Twin Cities copy with an older label before they were doing the special pedigree labels, and we can see that it's sold on Comic Connect 9 years ago, 8.5 years ago, for $4,777, which was a record high sale. Well, actually, no, we have a $77.68 in 2011. So this is, the price on this book has actually dropped considerably over the last 15 years. It is currently bidding at $2,617. It'll get past $3,200. It might get close to what it sold for on Comic Connect 8 years ago. There's not a lot of Spider-Man in this auction. This auction is heavy on the high-grade Thor and X-Men books. Surprisingly mediocre selection of Spider-Man books. I love seeing this. You don't see a lot of pulps in these auctions. ComicLink, I don't see a lot of pulp books in ComicLink. But here we have a huge pulp key. Not a lot of people collect pulps. Not a lot of people know much about them. It's a whole other thing to learn about. But I will tell you, this is Amazing Stories 29. This is the first appearance of Buck Rogers from 1928. Buck Rogers, I believe, predates Flash Gordon. Early science fiction character. A lot of people think this is Buck Rogers on the cover. It's actually not. I think it really should be. It's puzzling that it's not, because the story of Buck Rogers, he gets a flying jetpack. That's what happens. This is a guy with a flying jetpack, and yet somehow this is not Buck Rogers. It's some other guy from one of the other stories in this book. If I were home right now, I would pull out my copy of Amazing Stories that has the second cover appearance of Buck Rogers, which is super rare, but I'm not home right now, so I can't do that. I cannot find pulps prices on Go Collect. So I don't know what this is going for, but generally when you see Amazing Stories 29, it sells for in the thousands, if not tens of thousands. This is a 4.5, maybe not a $10,000 copy, but I would think this would sell for $5,000, and it's only at $889 right now, with 6 days to go. Then we've got Avengers number 1. This is Avengers 1 at 8.0. In the last auction, we saw Avengers 1 in 8.0 with, at the time, a fair market of $16,500. We saw it sell for just $11,319. It was, however, a really crappy 8.0. It was one of the worst 8.0s I've ever seen. This 8.0 looks much better. This should go closer to that fair market. Fair market at 8.0 is still $16,500. I think this should get close to that. It's at $6,200 now. I think Avengers 1 is an undervalued book. I think it's a great buy right now at that. This is high grade. 8.0 is the entrance to high grade, beautiful Jack Kirby cover. And then we've got Avengers 4 in 9.6 white pages. This one, I've had my heart broken so many times by Avengers 4 closings. I hope I don't get my heart broken again. The fair market for this book at 9.6 is $32,000. It is going right now for $19,388. So good reason to believe it will get close to fair market. You can't get much better than this. Let's look close up at this. It's okay. It's tanned. It's pretty tanned. Spine light stress lines. The only thing they've downgraded this book on is spine light stress lines. Only thing I can see here in this image is a stress line. This is not the spine. This is the bottom left corner. They didn't mention this, but apparently something along here dropped it from 9.8 to 9.6. They're not marking it down for the tanning, which I see. We've got Avengers 5, 6, and 7, all in very high grade. I'm going to skip ahead to this one, Avengers 25 and 9.6, because this is a big Doom cover. This is Dr. Doom fighting the Avengers, and we've got Avengers Doomsday coming up end of this year. So this is a big spec book. I talked about this in my Dr. Doom video. However, the prices haven't really been going up that high on it. The fair market on this at 9.6 is $3,400. Bidding on this is $1,399. Might not make it to fair market. It's a great cover. The story has nothing to do with the Avengers Doomsday movie. I guarantee it. The Avengers go to Latveria, fight him on his home turf. It's really all about the cover. I think, in general, collectors are over the idea of speculating on movies and shows. Not so much the case with Action Comics 252. They do seem very excited about the first Supergirl. But when it comes to the Marvel characters who are in upcoming movies and shows, folks aren't biting. That's it for Avengers. Then we've got this Batman number 11, my favorite Joker cover. Between Batman 251 and Batman 11, but come on, Batman 11. Favorite Joker cover, 6.5 off-white to white pages. The only problem with this copy is, look right here. Little Herbie Skoglund put a sticker or dead center on the cover of this book. I was asking my friend Rick today about this book, if he thought it was possible to get this sticker off without doing damage to the book. He did think it was possible and could be done, but he pointed out when you have this book, which has been sitting for 80 years with little Herbie Skoglund's sticker on the cover, that's going to leave a rectangular patch that is not faded as much as the rest of the book. So even if you could get that sticker off without doing any noticeable damage to the cover, you're still going to have that rectangle there forever. So you might as well leave it on. But even with Herbie's sticker, it's still the first, not the first Joker cover, but the first great Joker cover. Off-white to white pages. Fair market on this book is $12,500. It's going for $47.67. That's what the bidding's at right now. I would love a copy of Batman 11. I think this is a great investment, sticker aside. Then we've got Batman 20, Spokane pedigree, 9.0 white pages. It's got a big K in, looks like maybe crayon or marker on the cover. But that aside, beautiful copy of the first Batmobile cover. I'm not sure when the Batmobile first appeared in the stories, but this is the first cover, and I love this version of the Batmobile. It's got a big bat mask on the front of it, like a hood ornament. The fair market at 9.0, there's not a lot of sales, So we have an 8.5 fair market of 11,000. We have a sale from 6 years ago of 6,600, which seems very low on Heritage, but that wasn't the pedigree. Given that this is a pedigree, I'm going to say this copy, I think, will go for about 17,000. It's currently bidding at 55.22. Long way to go to get to 17,000. Maybe it won't happen, but it's a Spokane pedigree. Batman 44, another Joker cover. Jim Mooney and Charles Paris did the cover. I wouldn't call this one of the best Joker covers, but it is an early Joker cover in 5.0. The fair market on this is $1,950. Bidding's at $1,240. Looking good for this book fetching a high price. Then we've got the first appearance of Mr. Freeze, 6.5 off white. This is the beginning of the Silver Age, 1959. Fair market on this copy is $5,500. This one's bidding at $2,844. We're going to stop at $251 because we got split bidding on two very high-grade copies of one of the best Batman covers of all time, Batman 251. We have a 9.8 off-white to white and a 9.4 white pages. The 9.8 fair market is $31,000 and it's bidding at only $4,100. The 9.4 fair market is just $2,700. Bidding is already over that at $2,807. That's a huge gap between the 9.4 and the 9.8 fair markets. Whenever you see the jump from 9.6 to 9.8 at more than 3 times the price, that raises an eyebrow for me. And here we go with 9.6. The fair market is $5,250. 9.8, it's $31,000. That's almost a 6 times increase in price. That is peculiar. If we go back a few years, we see as recently as 2021, this book was selling for $11,000. And then all of a sudden in 2022, it jumped up to $35,000. We got 5 sales, all over $20,000, all on eBay and Heritage. I smell funny business. This feels inorganic, to put it politely. I think that it should be closer to $15,000 or $20,000, which is reflected by where the bidding's at here. It's at $4,100. It's not going to get to $31,000. This whole thing going on here, no. But this 9.4, white pages, this is going to beat fair market. It already is beating fair market. We got some Black Cat, Black Knight, Black Terror, Blonde Phantom. And then we got Blue Beetle. I don't know much about Blue Beetle, but this cover did catch my eye. It was used in Seduction of the Innocent, which means it was brought up by Frederick Werdum in the Seduction of the Innocent book and the Senate hearings that followed, for obvious reasons. This is pretty salacious for 1948, for any time, really. Noticeably, her bra strap does not seem to be there. We see her in the mirror, she's got a top on, and we see her back. There's no strap there. Not a lot of Blue Beetle on this cover, but a lot of woman taking her clothes off. Fair market on this at 7.0 is $13,500, currently bidding at $5,500. Then we go down to Brave and the Bold 28. We just saw a 9.2 sell in the fall featured auction for, I think, about $106,000. That's not going to happen with the 7.0 cream to off-white pages. The fair market at 7.0 is $9,000, but it's cream to off-white. Bidding's at $2,750. If you want to get a copy of the first Justice League and you don't mind cream pages or cream to off-white pages, this looks like a pretty good price right now. It's going to go up. Will it go up to $9,000? Probably not. Split bidding on 2 high-grade copies of Captain America Comics number 10. You don't see a lot of split bidding on Golden Age books. They are rare with these ComicLink auctions. They seem to have a lot of copies of Captain America in all the auctions. 93 total graded copies of Captain America number 10, and they've got 2 of them in this auction. This is the last issue worked on by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. This is the end of the first 10 issue Simon and Kirby run. The 8.5 has a fair market of $97.50 and is currently bidding at just $3,000. the 7.0, which has a much darker screenshot, creamed off-white pages. Fair market is $7,500 and it's bidding at $27.25. So these two are bidding at almost the same price right now, but this 8.5 is going to get higher. It'll stop at 46 because it's a pedigree. This is the notorious Holocaust, end of World War II Captain America cover. It's the Cookville pedigree in 8.0. The fair market value without the pedigree is $55,200. We got a sale from 3 years ago on Heritage for $55,200. Prior to that, we have to go back 20 years to find our next 8.0 sale, and it's for $54.63 on Heritage. The exact same dollar amount, 1 year apart. And then prior to that, $4,025 two times, 1 year apart. That's very weird. It's possible interest is growing on this particular cover because it is very rare and very provocative. However, I do not think it's going to get $55,200. Pedigree be damned. It's currently bidding at $17,500. I think this is more like a $30,000 sale tops. We've got Captain Marvel Adventures 21, where Captain Marvel is using his honesty ray on Hitler, Goebel, and Goring. Captain Marvel hits Hitler with the honesty ray. Boy, I wish we had an honesty ray. Chamber of Chills 8.5, Northford pedigree, off-white to white. These Chamber of Chills go for a lot. We got a high-grade pedigree copy. Fair market value for 8.5 is $37,000, already bidding at $29,000. This is going to sell for a lot of money. This is actually going to be one of the biggest sales of the auction. 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, sold on Heritage for $52,800. And then 6 months ago, sold also on Heritage for $37,200. This one looks like it has the potential to top that on account of its pedigree. Then we've got Daredevil 1 in 9.4, another one of the biggest books coming in this whole 3-day auction. Fair market at 9.4 is $38,000. This is an off-white copy. It's not white pages. Currently bidding at $16,555. It's going to go for a lot. Probably not $38,000. It'll be in the low 30s, I will bet. This is a high-grade copy of a Marvel Silver Age key. You don't see many of those, but when you do see them, they're probably Daredevil 1. That is the Marvel Silver Age key with the highest population in high grade. There are actually 44 copies at 9.4, so you don't see that with Fantastic Four 1, Hulk 1, even Spider-Man 1. 9.8 is going for $360,000. 9.4 is going for a tenth that, $38,000. Down here, we've got one pre-Batman Detective, which we saw in the last auction as well. Detective Comics number 9. Then we've got Detective Comics 29, the second cover appearance of Batman, third appearance of Batman, but it's restored. Extensive B5 restoration. Color touch, pieces added, leaf casting cleaned, interior lightened. So a lot of work was done to this. Okay, the unrestored goes for $82,000, but restored is going to be, we've got a 2017 sale at $31,567. Is it this copy? This is a different copy for sure. That sold for $31,000. Currently bidding at $14,750. This cover, it looks restored. I mean, looking at it, I can tell it's restored. Then we've got something kind of peculiar. We've got Detective Comics 33, Promise Collection in 0.5, creamed off-white pages. You don't see a lot of pedigree books in 0.5. I think the reason they've given it a 0.5 is because it says right here, page 11, 12, and 22 missing. This is one of those weird edge cases that CGC sometimes gets where they don't know what label to put on it because it's missing 3 pages, and I believe these are story pages that are missing, but it's also a pedigree. It comes from the Promise Collection. So they want to put the pedigree label on it, but it's missing pages. that should mean it's qualified, but you can't put a split pedigree qualified label on a book. They'd have to create a whole new kind of label for this book. They just gave it a pedigree. Pedigree with a very, very low grade, 0.5. The fair market on this book without the pedigree at 0.5 is $11,400. Currently bidding over that at $13,500 because it's the Promise Collection. And it's great looking for a 0.5. I think it's got the 0.5 because it's got those pages missing. There are 116 total graded copies of this book. It's already beating fair market. It's one of the few books I've gone through so far that is ahead of its fair market already with 6 days to go. Detective Comics 45, this is the first Joker story in Detective Comics. It's 45, so it's very nearly the first Joker story. The first Joker story is Batman 1, which was early in 1940, I think around April or June of 1940. This is November of 1940, so possibly the second Joker story, third, fourth, but he's not on the cover. Joker is on the cover of Detective Comics 40, even though it doesn't look like the Joker. Jerry Robinson confirmed before his death that this is intended to be the Joker, but he doesn't appear inside the issue. Then we've got 45, where he is in a story inside the issue, but he's not on the cover. So this is an early Joker key. It's just not really known as one or thought of as one. 5.5 cream to off-white pages. Fair market on this book in this grade is $3,700, currently bidding at $1,122. In contrast, we have Detective Comics 69, where we very much do have the Joker on the cover. This is a great cover. Genie in the Lamp Joker. 3.0, but it's 3.0 white pages. Fair market at 3.0 is $4,500. This one's bidding at $1,722. Man, this would be an incredibly good buy at $1,722. So good that I'm just going to throw in a bid right now. Boom. Oh, I got outbid. All right, fine, I'll do it again. All right, I just drove the bid up $500. Is that next minimum bid is $22.22 now. That's a little bit more like it. Fair market is $4,500. All right, fine. You want me to put another bid in? I'll put one more bid in. That's it. Still not the high bidder. All right, now it's at $23.22. One more Joker key in this auction. Detective Comics 168 at 7.0. I did my video where I talked about the Joker and how undervalued I think early Joker covers are. I mentioned this book. I screwed up. I got the values. Or I think this book goes for like $1,500 in 5.0. It goes for $15,000 in 5.0. I was off by a zero. A lot of people pointed that out to me. 7.0 copy of this book, $28,000 fair market. Currently bidding at $8,677. Now, of course, if you're not familiar with it, you might be looking at this thinking, why is this a Joker cover? Where's the Joker? He's not on here. That is the Joker. Before he became the Joker, he was the Red Hood, fell in a vat of acid. That's the big reveal at the end of this story. So it sort of became the origin story or un-origin story for the Joker. Not necessarily true. It's murky. But Alan Moore used this when he did The Killing Joke as a possible origin for how the Joker became the Joker. And that's it for night one. I'm losing my voice, so I'm not going to go into night two. All right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.